can never be no comparison. You're live on the show. Sit back and have a listen. LDBC, this is your boy Coach Sheldon Harrison. You're live on the Coach Sheldon Harrison Boxing and MMA Show Live. And this episode of the Coach Sheldon Harrison Boxing and MMA Show Live is brought to you by the 10 Players News, where we're trying to help players be successful all over the world. Go subscribe and listen to the 10 Players News today. Okay, guys, shout out to MJ. She is subscribed to my channel, and she actually asked me for a power chart breakdown of this fight tonight with Claudia Gadelha versus Cortney Casey, okay? This is going to be a very interesting matchup, but you guys already know who I think is going to win the fight. I mean, all of you probably have the same opinion I do, but let's see if you do. All right, let's talk about striking. Claudia Gadelha, in my opinion, she's a good striker. She's a very, very good striker. She's kind of crude at times. You know, her technique is not the best, but it's not the worst, okay? She throws her punches with a lot of force, man. This girl is very heavy-handed. Cortney Casey is more accurate. Like, Cortney will take those straight right hands and she'll split the jab. She'll split the guard. I'm sorry. Cortney Casey is very good at splitting the guard, man. She can do it at will, and she's long. So she's going to have the range advantage when fighting Claudia Gadelha. Kicking, that's definitely Cortney Casey, okay? Cortney Casey has a beautiful head kick. And I'm telling you now, man, she's fast with that head kick. And Claudia Gadelha, you better be watching out, because if she's able to get that kick off to the head, it's pretty much, it's lights out, okay? It's going to be lights out. Gadelha is relatively shorter than Cortney Casey. So Cortney Casey is going to have she's going to have an easier time in getting that head kick off. So Claudia Gadelha is going to have to be watching out for that head kick, and that's just the way that is. Grappling. That's Claudia Gadelha all day, okay? That's her game. She likes to grapple. She likes to get in close. She likes to get rough and tough. Cortney Casey, to me, is just not built like that. She's not a grappler. She's just not. Even though she does have a background in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I think, to me, that's the weakest part of her game, okay? That's my opinion, okay? From what I saw in the fights that I watched all of her fights. See, when I make a power chart, y'all, I watch every fight that I can find on these ladies. I watch the fight, and then I make my assessment. And from the fights that I saw, it just seemed like to me Cortney Casey was not comfortable, okay, grappling. Submission. I give the edge to Cortney Casey, okay? The only way, in my opinion, that I think Cortney Casey can win this fight, she's going to have to submit Claudia Gadelha or knock her out. And the later is not going to happen. She's not going to knock out Claudia. But Cortney Casey has, I think, half of her wins are submissions, okay? She's very good at the submission thing. Claudia Gadelha, she doesn't have a submission attempt on her resume. I'm not saying she can't do it, but the likelihood of her doing that is almost none. She's not, okay? Claudia Gadelha tried to submit her last opponent, Jessica Aguilar. She couldn't do it. Or one of her opponents. She couldn't submit Jessica Aguilar. She tried to submit Joanna. She couldn't do it. It's like the submission for her is a weak thing, okay? And maybe she was good at it in the amateurs. I don't know. But I know in the pros, she's been having a tough time doing that. Ground game. All right, guys, on the ground. This is definitely Claudia Gadelha. Claudia Gadelha, her best attributes come when she's on the ground. Claudia Gadelha can do it in the half guard. She'll rotate back around the full guard, and she will just control the action on the ground. Cortney Casey, the fights that I saw her in, even though she is skilled in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, she just didn't seem very comfortable on the ground. She didn't like being on the ground, and she just didn't. And at times, to me, it seemed like she didn't know what to do once she was on her back. That's just my opinion. I've seen Claudia Gadelha on her back, and definitely she knows what to do when she's on her back. Claudia has that advantage. The strength advantage, that's going to go to Claudia. Claudia is a freak of nature, man. Claudia is 115 pounds of solid muscle mass. People, that's just the way that is. She is solid. She is brute strong. Cortney Casey is not that strong, okay? She's very lean. Cortney Casey has a lot of lean muscle mass, but Claudia Gadelha is brute strength strong. And I'm sorry, that strength is going to play a major factor in this fight. It is. Claudia, I can picture Claudia Gadelha grabbing Cortney Casey and just throwing her against the fence, or throwing her against that cage and just beating on her. That's what I can see, okay? I don't know, man. If Cortney Casey, I hope she addressed the strength component of her workout. I hope she did, okay? But that'll remain to be seen. Agility, that's Cortney Casey. Cortney Casey is more agile than Claudia Gadelha. Now, the fact that Claudia Gadelha, she really doesn't do a lot to confuse you. Gadelha is good at cutting off the cage. She's very good at that, and she will cut that cage off with Cortney Casey. Cortney Casey can move backwards, she can move forward, she can move laterally, okay? Cortney Casey is also good at changing levels, okay? She's very good. She'll change levels. She'll squat down at the waist some. I mean, Cortney Casey can do it all within the agility component. Okay, speed. Gadelha is not very fast, okay? She's not very fast at all. She's effective and efficient. Claudia Gadelha is very efficient. She's not fast. Cortney Casey is a little bit faster than Gadelha, but the reason why I see Cortney Casey's agility makes up for the lack of speed that she has. You know, I'm sorry, Gadelha, she seemed kind of flat-footed to me. You know, she seemed really flat-footed at times. You know, however, I give that edge to Claudia Gadelha all the way, y'all. Claudia Gadelha got some power, and I'm telling you what, man. Just because, you know, she's a little bit slower than her opponent, she's gonna land them headshots are gonna hit. And Cortney Casey is gonna take a lot of hits. And Claudia Gadelha gonna mess up this girl's face, man. I'm just trying to tell y'all just what's gonna happen. Coach Stradamus is gonna predict this correct, okay? And what I see, in my opinion, I just think the power and strength of Claudia Gadelha is gonna take over. Takedown defense. Both of these young ladies, they're very good at takedown defense. And I was really shocked that Cortney Casey was so good at her takedown defense, but that's because of her Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background. That background plays a role in her takedown defense, okay? And she's good. Claudia, she's good at takedown defense. I mean, she's very good, but that's because she's comfortable on the ground. Technique. Claudia not very technical, y'all. I kind of laugh at it. She's not technical. But Claudia does, she makes up for it, guys, in power and speed. I mean, in power and strength. Claudia does. Cortney Casey is very technical. And the only reason why she's not a 5 is because her ground game is not as technical as Claudia's. And the only reason why Claudia is not a 4 is because her strikes, they come from just weird, crazy angles that she's not I mean, she's not really making them accurate. She's throwing them out there because she can. Now, I will give Claudia Gadelha this. She does have a very impressive hook, man. Her left and her right hook, those things land. And she's accurate with that left and right hook. Stamina. Both of these young ladies, and you know what? I made a mistake. I think Cortney Casey, her stamina is about a 4.5. I think her stamina is a little bit better than Claudia. But I think Claudia was having stamina issues when she fought Joanna. I thought she was, okay? But in her last fight, in my opinion, it seems like that Claudia has addressed those issues because she looked good. Claudia brought it for what, 3 rounds, 4 rounds? And I'm sorry, yeah, Claudia bought it for 3 rounds, okay? I think in a 5-round fight, though, this is going to favor Cortney Casey if Claudia runs out of gas. But Claudia is a banger, man. Claudia is a banger. I don't see Claudia losing this fight. She can't. In my opinion, the winner of this fight is going to be Claudia Gadelha. And I think that Claudia Gadelha is going to win by stoppage or she's going to win by knockout. Either way, Cortney Casey just don't have the strength and the power to deal with Claudia Gadelha. Claudia Gadelha is going to maul Cortney Casey. And Cortney Casey does not do well against people that maul her. She just don't, okay? The losses that she had, they came from people that actually, you know, took the mauling approach to her. For some reason, man, she just don't know how to stop the barrage of punches, okay? You guys tell me what you think. Who do you think is going to win this fight? This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. What are you guys waiting on? Subscribe. I'm done.